most restless nigga. Strip him of his clothes in front of the remaining male niggas, female niggas, and nigger infants. Tar and feather him. Tie each leg to a horse facing an opposite
Shout out to
direction,
my
set him
folks.
on fire,
I love y'all.
and beat both horses
Greer.
until
You
they
see
tear him
Greer.
apart.
You see Greer.
In front of the male, female,
You
and
see
nigger
Auntie.
infants.
My aunt.
Bullwhip.
Bullwhip. Bullwhip
The
and beat.
remaining nigger males within an inch of their life. Do not kill them.
Do not kill them.
But put the fear of God in them, for they can be useful for future breeding. Anybody know who Willie Lynch was?
Anybody know who Willie Lynch was?
No one? He was a vicious slave owner in the West Indies. The slave masters in the colony of Virginia were having trouble controlling their slaves.
They was
so
having
sent
trouble
Mr.
controlling
Lynch
them niggas.
to teach them his methods. The word lynching came from his last name. His methods were very simple, but they were diabolical. Keep the slave physically strong, but psychologically weak and dependent on the slave master. Keep the body, take the mind. I and any other professor on this campus are here to help you to find, take back, and keep your righteous mind.
You ain't here to do that, is you?
Because obviously you have lost it.
5 artifacts that prove ancient civilizations.
Kelly, I don't think he's been that good from the get-go. I think what we've had here
I don't think he's been
is
that
a little
good.
social concern in the NFL. The media has been very desirous that a black quarterback do well. The big issue is going to be precise passing.
Double standards. They exist, especially in pro football. When Lamar Jackson won a Heisman Trophy, former Colts executive Bill Polian made a suggestion.
I think wide receiver, exceptional athlete, exceptional
Just not
ability to
quarterback.
make you miss. Clearly not the thrower that the other guys are.
Analysts wondered in advance of the 2018 NFL Draft whether Jackson should switch positions. Polian's old trope was studying and found of black players who played quarterback in high school, 62% changed positions in college per the study.
62%.
Some are in the best interest of players, but only 16% of white quarterbacks changed positions. Researchers found 22% of all players switched positions. Torching defenses this season, Jackson said.
Not bad for a running back.
Everything coming in the helmet, you hear me?
And the failure of a football system. At the outset, scouting services divide quarterbacks into categories that often have racial overtones. The dual threat designation primarily refers to black quarterbacks, while pro style usually refers to white quarterbacks. They don't have black quarterback coaches, black coordinators, or GMs. And those are the people who give them the opportunities, said quarterback
this
coach
joint come with
Quincy
shotties.
Already, the system
crazy
lets down the
shotties,
black
too.
quarterback with little to no representation. Deshaun Watson, Houston Texans starting quarterback, knows this well. He's a dual threat, so he can't read coverages. He can't read defenses. He can't be accurate, Watson said, mocking the analyst. People say, well, he's a dual threat quarterback. You look at that word, that's a code word. People think, oh, he's a black quarterback. He must be dual threat.
Haskins is no joke as well. I just find him to be more of a runner than a thrower.
Found Stephen A. Smith in that category, for which he apologized. Haskins ran for just over 100 yards his senior year. The Washington
Brand new
Post
car, that's
analyzed
Rory. This how you get ready for work, you know?
posted on the NFL's website
my
for all
folks. I'm with
quarterbacks
folks, so I can
participated in the
do everything I
combine
want.
between 08 and 16. What they found backs up Watson's claims.
Quite frankly, forget the sympathy tour. Cam Newton has never really cared about anyone other than Cam Newton, and that doesn't mean he shouldn't be given the opportunity, but he's brought this franchise down.
That's Paul Feinbaum hitting doubled standard bingo on ESPN. The study found of minority quarterbacks more likely to be discussed, physical characteristics, erratic and unpredictable. His successes and failures ascribed to outside forces, less of a leader. He is asked to do things or given opportunities. His footwork is a mess. He has issues.
The big issue is going to be precise passing. Can he put the ball in the tight windows? Can he be the type of quarterback in the NFL? If he doesn't make it a quarterback, you have a great fallback. But he has to buy in.
Mel hits at not being smart enough and inaccuracy. Then McShay hints at Jackson's IQ and...
First thing we've got to figure out is the football intelligence, how quickly he picks things up. Do I have someone on my staff that can help him work to consistently improve his footwork.
However, a white quarterback prospect is more likely to be discussed in terms of intangibles. He is smart, displays intelligence, and understands the game. He is a leader with command of the huddle. He is consistent, calm, and poised.
Looks like he's constantly cramming for the SATs.
Case in point, Jeff Glor of CBS. Kiper showed the double standard even further. Lamar Jackson isn't a first rounder because of the accuracy, but what about white quarterback Josh Allen? Stats are for losers, in my opinion. The guy won. His language is dangerous and influential. When words like issues are included in a minority prospects report, that prospect is predicted to be drafted about a half round later than otherwise. When words related to intelligence or leadership are used in a minority prospects report, that prospect is predicted to be drafted roughly a full round earlier than otherwise. The average pick for a black quarterback was 70th overall, as opposed to 53rd for a white quarterback.
No one's going to be twice as bad just because of who I am, an African-American quarterback. But across the league, man, we're held to a certain standard. We almost have to be perfect.
Tyrod said this, and it's accurate. In 2009, an economics professor examined NFL data from the previous decade and concluded that black quarterbacks were roughly 2 times more likely to be benched than their white peers when controlling for factors including injury, age, experience, and performance. Are we getting there? Look no further than 2019, the first season in which the reigning MVP is a black quarterback.
Brand new run, that's Ferrari.
Another active black quarterback.
I got my tooth belt right on my belt.
Cam Newton. The highest paid player in league history is a black quarterback, Russell Wilson. The #1 overall draft pick is a black signal caller, Kyler Murray. And there are multiple franchise black passers who are in line for new deals in excess of $100 million. Dak Prescott, Sean Watson, a groundbreaking season during the NFL's Centennial one. The long road has been taken mandatorily through American entities to hinder success. As the Carpenters would say, we've only just begun.
Emery being charged with a kingpin case as well, or just you?
He's on the same case. 848 for everybody.
Okay. So you said that during the process of fighting this case, you said that was the turning point where you felt that Jay-Z and Emery were going to leave you and how they're going to sacrifice you because they thought you were going to get life in prison.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Just the lack of respect he showed as far as even trying, being that while I was in there. Like, they didn't come and check on me. They didn't follow up with my family. I got word from them that, don't worry about it. I got you. When I finally got, like, a word to him, like, and to get an answer, it was like, I got you, don't worry. I'm gonna help you out as far as lawyer, attorney, shit. So I'm like, okay. As you sitting in there in that cell, and you ain't getting no feedback, the case is still going, and you saying like, well, where's the help at? Where's the help at? And then you're looking at the case, and then next you know, Emery going home. Your other co-defendants are going home. Nobody telling you nothing. Your family can't get a hold of nobody. And you like, something is fishy going on. Then next thing you hear that people are taking plea deals. Like, plea deals, like, how you taking plea deals and you ain't get a discovery yet? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all bugging, So I just started seeing shady shit. And now, next you know, I'm the only one left. Like, I'm the only one going to trial. Like, okay, they got y'all, but y'all left me here. Nobody looking back. And that I got you, don't worry about it, they ain't showing up.
Okay, so what did Emery plead out to?
Emery pleaded out to about, I want to say 14 to 17 years or some shit. A lot.
The restaurant to be clean and serving safe food, right? But in a special Dirty Dining I-Team investigation, we're uncovering several local restaurants warned by the state to clean up again and again, and they just don't comply. And instead of getting inspected just 1 to 2 times per year, as required by law, we found inspectors going back up to 16 times.
What? 16 times?
In just 12 months due to repeat violations.
Oh.
Yeah, we hear about every day.
Every day.
Every day we can.
Wow. This loyal customer named Dan, clearly a big fan of Golden Corral on Ulmerton Road, and didn't seem too worried about the serious issues inside the Largo restaurant this last year, including 185 violations written up in inspections. 16 times inspectors came back due to violations not corrected, and food at dangerous temperatures. They've had roaches and rodents as well. Does that concern you? Well, so you're really okay with it?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Despite Dan's lack of concern, inspectors very concerned over the last year, closing the restaurant with a dead rodent and too many rodent droppings to count under the salad bar and other parts of the buffet.
Oh, wow.
Insects all the buffet food. Dead roaches in the kitchen, and blue cheese, ham, shrimp, chicken, beef, and much more, all at temperatures that could make you sick. So what does Golden Corral have to say about this? Can you speak with us about the violations?
No, ma'am. I can actually leave the building for the police.
We can leave, but can you answer some questions outside?
I cannot. I'm sorry.
Why is that? You've had multiple violations.
There you go. Thank you.
Hundreds in the last year.
Hundreds.
Even as far back as 2015, the state returning 10 times that year with similar repeat violations of rodents, insects, and food temperature issues. So you come back.
Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow.
Out in Clearwater Beach, the subway on South Gulfview Boulevard had 21 inspections over the last 3 years due to repeat violations, mainly due to food temperature issues. In June, Subway was forced to throw out over 35 pounds of ham, tuna salad, pepperoni, turkey cheese, and more that were dangerously warm in the cooler. And a few months before that, 113 pounds of food had to be destroyed because of improper temperatures of pepperoni, salami, provolone cheese, turkey, and more. So we went inside to get some answers. Inspectors have had to come back again and again for repeat violations.
Well, I'm the new manager. I just got here like a couple months ago, and I have my certificate hanging over there.
Manager Ayman Atia claims he didn't know about the warnings and administrative
you knew.
complaints to clean up, and didn't know the state suspended Subway's license, shutting them down for 2 days in September. But Subway's track record has not been good, with inspectors returning 8 times in 2016 and 7 times in 2015. Violations not being corrected, but Atia feels confident the repeat violation.
Let's go. We gotta get ready. Put this work in. Load the belt up. We ready. Yeah. Huh?